The most prestigious luxury brands in the world are intentionally burning, shredding, and destroying perfectly good merchandise worth billions of dollars every single year. While millions of people struggle to afford basic necessities, these fashion giants are turning handbags, watches, clothing, and accessories into ash and waste. This isn't a conspiracy theory or an exaggeration. This is standard industry practice, and the reasons behind it will shock you. Today, we're counting down 15 luxury brands that would rather see their products destroyed than in the hands of discount shopper. Number 15. Burberry. Let's start with the brand that brought this dark secret into the spotlight. In 2018, Burberry admitted to destroying approximately £28.6 million worth of unsold merchandise, including clothing, accessories, and their signature fragrances. That's roughly $37 million worth of perfectly usable products turned into literal smoke. The British heritage brand claimed this practice protected their trademark and prevented counterfeiters from getting their hands on genuine articles through discount channels. Environmental activists were outraged, consumers felt betrayed, and the media firestorm that followed forced Burberry to announce they would stop the practice. However, industry insiders reveal that while they may have stopped burning, they likely redirected to other destruction methods like shredding and chemical decomposition. The company's justification that burning was more environmentally friendly than landfill disposal rang hollow to critics who pointed out that not destroying at all would be the truly sustainable choice. Number 14. Cartier. The legendary French jeweler, known for their iconic love bracelets and luxury timepieces, has long maintained an iron grip on their brand exclusivity through systematic destruction of unsold inventory. Cartier operates under the Richemont Group umbrella, which openly admitted in their sustainability reports to destroying goods to maintain brand integrity. We're talking about watches that cost more than most people's annual salary, jewelry pieces crafted with precious metals and gemstones, all being systematically dismantled and destroyed. Former employees have disclosed that even items with minor defects that could easily be repaired are marked for destruction rather than being sold at reduced prices. The mathematics are disturbing. Cartier could donate these pieces, sell them to emerging markets, or offer them to their employees, but instead, they choose destruction. Their argument centers on maintaining price points and ensuring that their products never appear in outlet stores or discount retailers, which they believe would damage the aspirational nature of the brand. Number 13. Louis Vuitton. Perhaps the most recognized luxury brand globally, Louis Vuitton has perfected the art of scarcity through destruction. The LVMH-owned powerhouse reportedly destroys unsold merchandise worth hundreds of millions annually, and their methods are ruthlessly efficient. Unlike some brands that donate unsold seasonal items, Louis Vuitton maintains that every bag, wallet, and accessory bearing their monogram must either sell at full price or cease to exist. Investigative reports have revealed that Louis Vuitton employees are required to slash and destroy unsold bags at the end of each season, cutting through the canvas and leather to ensure the products can never be resold or repurposed. This practice extends globally across all their boutiques. The brand's obsession with exclusivity means they would rather destroy a $10,000 handbag than see it sold for $8,000. Critics argue this represents the worst aspects of luxury capitalism, where artificial scarcity trumps social responsibility and environmental consciousness. Number 12. Chanel. The French fashion house synonymous with timeless elegance and the legendary Coco Chanel has a dark secret behind their pristine reputation. Chanel destroys unsold inventory with military precision, ensuring that not a single product ever makes it to the secondary discount market. Industry estimates suggest Chanel destroys merchandise worth over $100 million annually. Their reasoning is coldly calculated. They believe that seeing Chanel products in outlet stores or on clearance racks would fundamentally damage the brand's perception of unattainable luxury. Former boutique managers have revealed that Chanel has specific protocols for destroying everything from cosmetics to haute couture pieces. Even their beauty products, which have expiration dates and could be donated to women's shelters or charitable organizations, are destroyed instead. The brand maintains that their reputation for exclusivity is worth more than any short-term profit from discounted sales, a philosophy that prioritizes brand image over social responsibility or environmental impact. Number 11. Hermes. The ultimate status symbol in luxury goods, Hermes takes brand protection to extraordinary levels through systematic destruction of imperfect or unsold items. The waiting list for a Birkin bag can stretch years, yet the company admits to destroying bags that don't meet their exacting quality standards, rather than offering them at reduced prices as seconds. We're talking about bags worth $30,000 or more being destroyed over minor imperfections invisible to the average eye. Hermes produces approximately 250,000 leather goods annually, and while they don't disclose exact destruction figures, industry analysts estimate that between 5 to 10% never reach consumers. That's potentially hundreds of millions in destroyed merchandise. The company argues that their century-old reputation depends on perfection, and that any compromised product entering the market, even at a discount, would erode the brand equity they've spent generations building. Former craftspeople have shared stories of watching exquisitely made products being destroyed simply because a stitch wasn't perfectly aligned. Number 10. Prada. The Italian luxury fashion house has quietly maintained a destruction policy that rivals any of their competitors. Prada's approach to unsold inventory is particularly controversial because the brand has publicly positioned itself as increasingly sustainable while simultaneously destroying merchandise worth millions. In 2019, documents revealed that the Prada Group destroyed unsold goods valued at approximately 30 million euros. Their justification follows the industry standard, protecting brand equity and preventing counterfeiting. However, critics point out the hypocrisy of Prada's Re-Nylon initiative, which promotes recycled materials and sustainability, while the company literally burns or shreds perfectly usable products. The cognitive dissonance is striking. Prada has been particularly secretive about their destruction methods and volumes, but supply chain leaks and former employee testimonies paint a picture of systematic waste that contradicts their public sustainability messaging. The brand faces increasing pressure from younger consumers who demand authenticity and environmental responsibility. Yet the destruction continues. Number 9. Gucci. Under the Kering Group umbrella, Gucci has built an empire on Italian craftsmanship and bold design, but their waste management practices tell a different story. Reports indicate that Gucci destroys unsold inventory worth tens of millions of dollars annually, despite the brand's vocal commitment to circular economy principles. The contradiction is jarring. Gucci promotes vintage collecting and has launched programs encouraging customers to repair rather than replace their products, yet simultaneously destroys brand new merchandise that could serve those very purposes. Former employees describe witnessing the destruction of clothing, handbags, shoes, and accessories that were in perfect condition but simply didn't sell within the season. The brand's parent company, Kering, has faced shareholder questions about this practice, particularly as younger investors increasingly prioritize ESG metrics. Gucci's response has been to emphasize their sustainability initiatives while remaining vague about destruction volumes, a strategy that satisfies neither environmental activists nor fiscal conservatives. Number 8. Nike. While not traditionally categorized as pure luxury, Nike's premium lines and limited edition collaborations occupy luxury price points, and their destruction practices are equally problematic. In 2021, a viral video showed Nike employees cutting up boxes of brand new shoes before throwing them in a dumpster, sparking outrage across social media. The athletic wear giant reportedly destroys returned merchandise, slightly defective products, and unsold inventory worth hundreds of millions annually. Nike's justification centers on liability concerns and quality control, arguing that donating potentially defective products could expose them to lawsuits. However, investigations revealed that many destroyed items were perfectly functional, destroyed simply because of minor cosmetic issues, or because they were returns. The optics were particularly damaging for Nike given their social justice marketing campaigns and partnerships with athletes who champion community support. Critics wondered why a company worth over $200 billion couldn't establish quality screening systems for donations rather than defaulting to destruction. Number 7. H&M. The Swedish fast fashion giant might seem out of place on a luxury list, but their destruction practices dwarf many traditional luxury brands due to their massive production volumes. In 2017, investigative journalists discovered that H&M had burned approximately 60 tons of unsold clothing, equivalent to roughly 400,000 individual garments. The revelation was particularly damaging because H&M had positioned itself as a sustainable fast fashion alternative, complete with garment recycling programs in their stores. The hypocrisy was impossible to ignore. The company was asking customers to bring in old clothes for recycling while simultaneously burning tons of new, unsold merchandise. H&M's defense that burning was more environmentally sound than landfills because the energy was captured for heating fell flat with environmentalists who pointed out that not producing excess inventory in the first place would be the truly sustainable solution. The scandal revealed the fundamental unsustainability of the fast fashion model, where overproduction and planned obsolescence create waste streams that dwarf traditional luxury brands. Number 6. Urban Outfitters. This trendy retailer serves younger consumers with affordable luxury and vintage-inspired pieces, but their waste management practices reveal a troubling corporate culture. Investigative reports and employee whistleblowers have exposed Urban Outfitters' systematic destruction of returned and unsold merchandise, including clothing, home goods, and accessories. In one particularly egregious example documented by a former employee, the company destroyed hundreds of winter coats during a harsh winter, rather than donating them to homeless shelters, citing concerns about brand dilution and potential liability. The company has faced multiple exposés showing dumpsters filled with slashed clothing and deliberately damaged merchandise to prevent dumpster diving and resale. Urban Outfitters maintains that their practices comply with industry standards, but critics argue that a brand marketing itself to socially conscious millennials and Gen Z consumers should be leading on sustainability, not hiding behind outdated corporate policies that prioritize theoretical brand protection over tangible social good. Number 5. Richemont Group. This luxury conglomerate deserves its own entry because its destruction practices span multiple prestigious brands, including Cartier, Van Cleef & Arpels, Montblanc, and Jaeger-LeCoultre. In 2018, Richemont shocked investors by admitting it had destroyed approximately $563 million worth of watches over 2 years to prevent them from reaching the gray market. That's over $500 million in luxury timepieces, some of which took master craftsmen hundreds of hours to create, deliberately destroyed to maintain pricing power. The announcement tanked their stock price and ignited fierce debate about the ethics of luxury goods destruction. Richemont's CEO defended the practice as necessary to protect brand integrity, arguing that seeing their watches discounted would permanently damage their luxury positioning. However, economists and ethicists countered that such destruction represented a moral failure and economic inefficiency that benefited only shareholders at the expense of society and the environment. Number 4. Victoria's Secret. The lingerie giant has faced repeated scandals over destroying returned and unsold merchandise, including a viral incident where bags of mutilated bras and underwear were discovered outside one of their stores. Victoria's Secret destroys merchandise for several stated reasons: hygiene concerns with returned intimates, quality control, and brand protection. However, investigations revealed that the destruction extended far beyond returned items to include new tagged merchandise that simply didn't sell. Former employees described being instructed to cut up perfectly good bras, underwear, and clothing before disposing of them, specifically to prevent donation or resale. The practice seems particularly wasteful given that bras are among the most requested items at women's shelters, and many women struggle to afford properly fitting supportive undergarments. Victoria's Secret has attempted to improve their image through sustainability initiatives, but the fundamental practice of destroying usable products continues, highlighting the tension between corporate policy and social responsibility. Number 3. Apple. The tech giant's inclusion might surprise you, but Apple's destruction of returned, refurbished, and unsold products represents one of the largest waste streams in consumer electronics. Unlike clothing that might decompose, electronic waste contains precious metals, rare earth elements, and toxic materials that cause environmental havoc. Apple has destroyed billions of dollars worth of iPhones, iPads, MacBooks, and accessories rather than allowing them to enter secondary markets at reduced prices. The company has made headlines with their recycling robot Daisy, which disassembles iPhones to recover materials. But critics point out that reuse is vastly more sustainable than recycling. Perfectly functional devices with minor cosmetic damage or older operating systems are destroyed rather than being refurbished and sold to price-conscious consumers or donated to schools and nonprofits. Apple argues that controlling their ecosystem and ensuring customer experience justifies this practice, but right-to-repair advocates counter that planned obsolescence and destruction of usable technology represents environmental irresponsibility on a massive scale. Number 2. Estee Lauder. The beauty empire encompassing brands like MAC, Clinique, and La Mer has one of the beauty industry's largest destruction footprints. Cosmetics have relatively short shelf lives due to formulation stability and contamination risks, but Estee Lauder's destruction practices extend far beyond expired products. The company destroys returned items, products with damaged packaging, and unsold seasonal collections worth hundreds of millions annually. Beauty industry insiders reveal that products are destroyed even when the formulation is perfectly stable simply because the packaging design has been updated or the shade is being discontinued. Estee Lauder has faced particular criticism because cosmetics could easily be sanitized and donated to organizations serving women entering the workforce, domestic violence survivors, or individuals experiencing homelessness. Instead, the company opts for destruction, citing hygiene concerns and quality control. The waste is compounded by the packaging: glass bottles, plastic compacts, and cardboard boxes that required significant resources to produce, all destroyed, along with the product inside. Number 1. LVMH Group. Taking the top spot is the world's largest luxury goods conglomerate, which encompasses over 75 prestigious brands, including Louis Vuitton, Dior, Fendi, Givenchy, and Moet & Chandon. The sheer scale of LVMH's operations means their destruction practices dwarf individual brands, with estimates suggesting they destroy merchandise worth over $1 billion annually across their portfolio. In 2021, leaked internal documents revealed systematic destruction policies spanning fashion, leather goods, cosmetics, and wines and spirits. LVMH argues that their destruction practices are essential to maintaining the luxury positioning that makes their brands valuable, claiming that any discounting would permanently damage brand equity worth billions. However, critics point out that LVMH reported record profits exceeding €79 billion in 2022, suggesting that their fear of brand dilution may be exaggerated. The environmental impact is staggering. When you destroy a luxury handbag, you're not just wasting leather and hardware, you're negating all the energy, water, and resources used throughout the supply chain. LVMH has announced sustainability initiatives and circular economy programs, but the fundamental practice of destruction continues unabated, revealing the inherent contradiction in luxury business models that depend on artificial scarcity maintained through waste. So, there you have it. 15 luxury brands that would rather see billions of dollars worth of merchandise destroyed than compromise their pricing power or exclusivity. The practice reveals uncomfortable truths about luxury capitalism, where brand perception and profit margins trump sustainability, social responsibility, and basic human decency. These companies spend millions on marketing campaigns about craftsmanship, heritage, and increasingly about sustainability. Yet they systematically destroy the very products they claim to cherish. The cognitive dissonance is staggering, and as consumers become more aware of these practices, the pressure for change intensifies. Some of these brands have announced reforms, but meaningful change requires complete transparency about destruction volumes and methods, which most refuse to provide. If this video opened your eyes to the dark side of luxury fashion, smash that like button and let the algorithm know this content matters. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into the secrets industries don't want you to know. Drop a comment below telling us which brand's destruction practices shocked you most, and whether you'll think differently before making your next luxury purchase. Share this video with anyone who loves fashion, because they deserve to know the truth behind the brands they admire. The more people who understand these practices, the more pressure we can put on these companies to change. Thanks for watching, and remember, true luxury should never come at the cost of our planet or our values.